Why do people love him? Because they clearly do. He has these rallies with thousands of people. Is that all staged?
No. Well, first of all, you can ask Sky News, BBC. They're less tied in than, say, MSNBC or CNN. The rallies are smaller. You can ask them. They just are smaller. They're not as deep and they're not as dramatic as they were in 16 or even 20 when he was sitting president. But they love him, and they love him for a reason. They love him because a good 20% of the country feels that the system has disavowed them. And so let me try to explain that, because I grew up with these people. They love him because their families were once aspirational, blue-collar, working-class Americans, where the father was working super hard, but he was going to pass the baton to the son or the daughter, and they were going to live at a higher living standard or a higher class than their parents. That's the American dream. And so those aspirational working-class Americans now feel economically desperational. They feel disabused by the system. They feel ignored by the establishment politicians. The Democrats who supported those people, their grandparents voted for Jack Kennedy or Lyndon Johnson, or their great-grandparents voted for Franklin Roosevelt. The Democrats left those people. Let's focus on transgender bathrooms. Let's focus on DEI. Let's focus on the usage of pronouns in the vocabulary. Let's, through wokeism, cancel people. If they make one slip up verbally, cancel them. Deplatform them. Let's do this. And the Republicans were corporations, tax cuts, deregulation. They weren't really for the working class. And now the working class, a good 20% of these people, feel left out of the system, disabused. In comes Donald Trump. I understand your problem, and I want to help you. And he represents a demolition of a system that is not working for these people. He's an orange wrecking ball. These people don't like the political establishment. They don't like the medical establishment. They don't want to take the vaccine. They don't like the business establishment. They hate Wall Street. Mr. Trump, take that Twitter account, take that orange face of yours, smash into these people, burn down the system. The system's not working for me. And that's why when he says, I can shoot people on Fifth Avenue and you're still going to support me, they're still there. 91 counts, 4 indictments.
Are they weaponizing the legal system, though? You're a lawyer. When you look at all these cases.
So yes and no. I'm just going to answer it very objectively. I think the case in New York, the one he's facing here with the hundreds of millions of dollars of fines, I think it's an unfair case.
That's the bank loan to Deutsche Bank and all that.
Yeah, because he put disclaimers. A lot of these guys inflated their assets. There was no economic harm to anybody. And so I think it's a faulty case. And I think that there's probably legitimacy to the documents case. And I know for certain, because I'm closer to it than even I would like to be, the insurrection case, there's probably some legitimacy to those cases. But this case in New York has set up the public persona, because it's a bad case, that perhaps the other cases are also bad. And then you've got the Russian bot center outside of Moscow feeding the information into our social media sites. And you got Putin himself saying, oh, you think you have a democracy, but you don't have a democracy. One side's using the courts to demolish the other side. You see, and people buy into that. Oh, that must be the case, right? And I'm saying some of it, that is true, and some of it isn't. And so that's a big problem. You don't want that. I don't want that. And I always tell people, let's beat Donald Trump in the international marketplace, the free marketplace of ideas. Let's debate them. Let's explain to the American people what the issues are, what's at stake for the American people. And if Mr. Trump wins, then let's live with him. And if he loses, he'll run again in 2028 at age 82. We'll have to deal with him again. But I think after 2028, he probably won't run again. But
what's his chances of winning this year?
Well, the predictive markets have him, I think, 60-40. I think he has no chance to win. And I think he loses the election in a worse margin than in 2020. And I just want to state the reasons why. Because you say, well, that's against the prediction markets. But it's March. You and I are old enough, or maybe I'm old enough, to know when Michael Dukakis was up 10 in March of 1988. He was up 20 in July of 1988 when he came out of the convention. He lost the election. I think you and I are old enough where there was a woman by the name of Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. She was up in the polls every day versus her opponent, except the day that mattered. She was not up in the polls. So we know that these polls can be jokerish. And I'm going to take a contrarian view of what's going on. I think that the country has changed demographically. It's a different country from 16. It's a different country from 20. This beautiful, colorful mosaic of America has become more beautiful and more colorful. And these people don't like him. And we can pretend otherwise and blah, blah, blah. And then I asked you something before this started, and I'll share it. I said, so you think the Hispanic community is upset with the border? You said, I think so. The second or third generation Hispanics probably don't want this. They probably got here legally, probably don't want what's going on at the border. And I think not. I think there's a Bradley effect going on. And just to remind people what that was, Tom Bradley ran for mayor successfully in Los Angeles, first African-American ever to be elected to a major city in the United States. And when he was up for re-elect, he was up a lot in the polls. People were calling, and would you vote for Tom Bradley? Yes, I will. But they didn't. Well, why did you tell the pollster you were going to vote for Tom Bradley and then you didn't vote for him? I didn't want to appear racist to the pollster. It had nothing to do with his skin color. I just didn't like his job performance. And so Trump benefited from that in 2016. There was a Bradley effect going on in reverse.
Yeah.
Are you going to vote for Donald Trump? No, I'm not. And then into the curtain, vote for Donald Trump. And I think the Hispanic community and the people that are watching the border are like, I'm okay with that. Those are my family members, some of them. And
really?
I'm
and they
okay.
want that to continue?
Yeah. Well, do you think O.J. murdered the girl? You think he murdered
Yeah,
her?
I do, actually.
Okay, probably did, right? Did he get off?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so even though the facts were glaring, that African-American jury said, you know what? They lynched a lot of our people unfairly over the last 150 years. Not guilty. And so I'm offering you a contrarian perspective to what is going on right now in America. So we'll have to see.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year's going to be too late. Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people
and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm gonna tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone, also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline.
I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up. If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you gonna do? What's the choice that you're going to make?